last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
This one's wife. The last person to talk about love. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The Daily Express has an article by Phoebe Tonks and Peter Hart that leads with the intriguing title, "This one's wife is last person who should talk about love." Before we find out more about who's saying that about her and why, let us just consider for a moment the concept of love and the involvement of the narcissist. Love comes from emotional empathy. Love is a feeling, a sensation, and there are differing types of love. I have learned from observation and listening to people that there is the love that one has for a child, love for an intimate partner, love that exists for a friend. In order to love somebody, one must have emotional empathy. Narcissists do not have this, and that is why the narcissist cannot love anybody. What the narcissist does is construct a concept of love, and what many people fail to realize is that the romantic notion of love is something that has been generated by narcissists who have permeated their own perspective and view as to what love is, so that it bleeds into the mainstream through pop songs and rock songs and poetry and films and television and novels. Many of the things that people regard as romantic aren't actually true and accurate manifestations of love, but in actual fact, the way that a narcissist perceives love. Love to the narcissist is a weapon of mass seduction. Love is perhaps one of the most important things to certain human beings, and therefore the narcissist utilizes, hijacks, extracts the love that flows from other people for our own purposes. We cause people to fall in love with us. We do this by presenting to them an image, an illusion, which causes them to believe that they've met someone wonderful, amazing, similar perhaps to themselves. The narcissist conveys their belief in their love for a particular individual, although it is not there. Most narcissists, being unaware, believe that they love, but their actions demonstrate that they don't. What they actually have is an infatuation for an individual. And the narcissism, in order to cause them to capture that person as quickly as possible and exploit them for the prime aims, necessitates the notion of love. And thus all of the grand gestures exist about walking the earth to find someone, of I would crawl over broken glass to be with you, the buying of the flowers, the romantic, supposedly, gestures in front of a crowd, and so forth. Many of the lyrics that you find associated with popular songs come from the brains of a narcissist. Particular portrayals in novels, romantic, era-sweeping romances that have taken place, they've been written by the narcissist. And all of this results in the narcissistic perspective of love bleeding into the mainstream so that non-narcissists think that this is a fair and accurate representation of what love ought to be. So that when they experience it, as it is deployed against them by the narcissist, they think, gosh, this person truly loves me. And in actual fact, what's happening is you're getting swept away by the illusion that's being generated, the construct of love that the narcissist believes in. This is something that I have made mention of on many occasions and can be found in many of my other videos where I explain how the narcissist is a love thief, that we steal your love and we hijack the concept of love to serve our own purposes. We have generated a version of love which is exciting and thrilling and addictive, but it is simply used not in a constructive or healthy way, at least not for you. It is used to control you. It's used to extract that precious fuel from you. It's used so we can garner those character traits from you, and naturally those residual benefits. Love is exploited by the narcissist to pursue, as you would expect, the prime aims. And for this one's wife, it would be no different. She, of course, believes that she loves Harry. But that's just her narcissism telling her that that's the case, when in actual fact she does not. She believes that she loves her mother. She believes that she loves her children, because the narcissism tells her that she does. But it only does so to power her to pursue the prime aims in relation to those relevant appliances. Her behaviours demonstrate that she does not. Think about the relationship that she has with her father. She's spoken in the past in such glowing terms of him, of talking about her love for him, and yet she has not bothered with him for years. That is not the behaviour of someone that loves. That is the behaviour of an abuser, and underpins the fact that she never loved him in the first place. She just believed that she did, because her narcissism caused her to believe that she did, because that was the most effective way of causing her to assert control over her father and draw fuel from him. The Daily Express article explains, a royal expert has accused this one's wife of hypocrisy over her treatment of estranged father Thomas Markle amidst a bitter family divide. The Duchess of Sussex stands accused of freezing out her own father in a manner described as cruel. Last month saw the embers of scandal reignited when Lady Colin Campbell, former I'm a Celebrity contestant, set up a GoFundMe page ostensibly to cheer Thomas Markle on the eve of his 80th birthday on July the 18th. Portrayed as someone who had been rejected and abandoned, the initiative sought to assure him that good people still exist, raking in upwards of £54,000. The appeal was spurred on after Thomas Markle expressed to the Daily Mail his desire to repair his fractured relationship with his daughter, this one's wife, an estrangement dating back to her wedding with Prince Harry in 2018, and his yearning to meet his grandchildren Archie and Lilibet. That, of course, is part of his own pity play, as part of the assertion of control over the audience in order for him to receive fuel and indirectly control his daughter. However, Jenny Bond, former BBC royal correspondent, has slammed the notion of a fundraiser for Thomas, embroiled previously in a media furor over stage paparazzi snaps, as utterly ridiculous. Speaking candidly to OK, Jenny didn't mince her words. I think it's rather a ridiculous idea to set up a fund for Thomas Markle. I'm sorry that his daughter doesn't want him in her life, and I think it's quite cruel of this one's wife. However, he has another daughter and a son who can surely perfectly well look after their father. She continued her critique by saying there are an awful lot of people in the world who need money far more than Mr. Markle. So I think it's really a mischief-making exercise to make this one's wife look bad. And you'll have your own views in relation to the rationale behind that fundraiser. This one's wife seems to have completely severed ties with her American family, except for her mother and perhaps a cousin. It's incredibly sad for Thomas not to know his son-in-law or his grandchildren. Yet family dynamics are notoriously complicated, and feelings run deep. Both Samantha and Thomas Jr. have made some rather extreme allegations about this one's wife, with Samantha still anticipating her day in court. Thomas has voiced his opinion that both he and King Charles have been treated so badly by Prince Harry and this one's wife over the years. Indeed, he is stating the truth when he does so, but remember, his actual motivation for doing so is to elicit sympathy, which is fuel. The Duchess of Sussex's father, who was notably absent from escorting her down the aisle, has lamented that the last 10 years of his life have been overshadowed by the ongoing saga. He lamented, "Neither of us deserves the treatment we've received. Why have they treated not only me but the royal family and the king so poorly? Well, all you need to do is observe my work to get the answer to that." Archie and Lilibet have two grandfathers who want to see them, one of whom is the King of England. Reports indicate that King Charles has had limited contact with his grandchildren since Prince Harry and this one's wife stepped back from royal duties and moved to California in 2020. Despite their separation from both families and perceived indifference towards their relatives, Harry has consistently stated that this one's wife is so similar to his late mother, Princess Diana. In their Netflix docuseries, Harry and This One's Wife, Harry expressed that This One's Wife's character reminds him of his dearly missed mother. He revealed, "So much of what This One's Wife is and how she is so similar to my mum." Well, this is demonstrative of someone who's not that bright and somebody who is obviously clouded by his own emotional thinking. However, after deciding to freeze him out on his birthday, Jenny believes that the idea of love from This One's Wife is rather rich and accused This One's Wife of hypocrisy, saying, "I would say, however, that it always seems rather rich for This One's Wife to be talking about compassion and love and healing whilst continuing to freeze out her elderly father." And indeed, she is correct that she is the last person who should talk about love because, one, as a narcissist, she doesn't actually experience it, she just thinks that she does, she has no emotional empathy, and two, her behaviours demonstrate that she doesn't behave in a loving manner. This is demonstrative in the way that she treats Harry, the way that she's treated her half-siblings, the way that she has treated her own father, the way that she has behaved in relation to her children. It is the case that the narcissist will often talk about love as part of their facade management. They will talk about love towards a certain person in order to control them. They will use love as a means to get to the prime aims, albeit unwittingly so. They will utilise the idea of love and the presentation of themselves as a loving person as part of their facade management. They will portray a version of love to the world, which, with many uninitiated in understanding narcissism, fall to be conned by the love fraud, portraying a particular version of love. This One's Wife is no different. She talks of love, and yet she can offer none. She presents as if she does love, and yet she is incapable of doing so. And she is indeed the last person who ought to be talking about love, but naturally, since it serves a purpose to her as the narcissist, she will continue to do so. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.